Hi class, and welcome to lesson 1 on persuasion. And today we're going to be talking about questions of policy, fact, and value. After watching this video, you should be able to identify and use questions of policy, fact, and value when writing a persuasive speech. And you should be able to identify persuasion used in media or pop culture. A lot of the information that you will be learning about today is very important for the future. So facts with a check mark are facts that you will need to note. So why do we use persuasion? We use persuasion to convince an audience to believe or to do something. And when I say audience, I don't necessarily mean you being on a stage with a crowd full of people in front of you. An audience could be anybody. So for example, when you get home at 3 in the morning and your curfew is at 1, and you're trying to convince your parents that you actually got home at 1, you're actually trying to convince them to believe in something. You're using persuasion. And when you go on Instagram and you see a picture of Kylie Jenner's sponsored ad, she's actually trying to convince you to buy something. She's trying to convince you to do something. She's using persuasion. There are 3 types of questions that you should consider when writing a persuasive speech. The first ones are questions of policy, and this is when you persuade your audience to take action. This is most commonly used by activists, political figures, and advertisements. So for example, should cigarettes be illegal? Should we believe in Santa? Should you go to college? Yes, you should. A question of policy speech focuses on defining a problem and a solution by covering the following 3 main points. The first point is the need, and this is when you convince the audience that there is a problem that must be addressed. So if we chose the cigarettes should be illegal points, you're trying to convince an audience that that cigarettes are a problem and that this problem should be addressed. The next one is the plan. So this is when you convince the audience that it is not good enough to just sit around and complain. So this is when you convince the audience that sitting around and complaining about cigarette smoke isn't going to change anything. And then the last one is the practicality. And this is when you show the audience that the plan can succeed. And this is when you show the anti-cigarette smokers that making cigarettes illegal can succeed. As you watch the following video, write down why this fits under the questions of policy category.
You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life is passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next semester. No, do it right now. They'll work with you after work, or you can go before work. You can do whatever you need to do to graduate. Go talk to somebody right now. They out to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you make a phone call that's going to help you in your future? All you got to do is pick up the phone and make the call. Why are you making it complicated? It's easy.
See, you should go to college. Alright, the next ones are questions of fact. And this is when you persuade your audience that something or another is a fact. The speaker presents evidence and must use deductive reasoning to draw a conclusion from the evidence presented. This is commonly used by lawyers, police officers, and political figures. So an example question would be, did Miss Carter leave her 2-year-old baby alone inside a hot car? So what a lawyer would do is they would present an evidence proving whether or not Miss Carter did this, and then use deductive reasoning to draw conclusions from the evidence presented. Again, watch the following video and write down why this fits under the questions of facts category.
And it says here you were born in 1964, but that's not true either, is it? Is it?
No.
Can you tell me what it says here on your birth certificate under date of birth?
Your Honor, I object. What does this have to do with anything?
Overruled. Mrs. Cole, answer the question.
1965.
Now, let me get this straight. That would mean that you lied about your age to make yourself older. But why would any woman want to do that?
I changed it so I could get married.
And the truth shall set you free. My client She was only 17 when she got married, which makes her a minor. And in the great state of California, no minor can enter into any legal contract without parental consent, including prenuptial agreements. This contract is void. The standard community property applies, and she is entitled to half of the marital assets, or $11.395 million. Jordan fades back, swoosh, and that's the game. Nothing further, Your Honor.
That's one of my favorite movies. Alright, so the next questions are questions of value. And that's when you persuade your audience something is good or bad, evil or inhumane, or right or wrong. A persuasive speech questioning value should include an appeal, criteria for judgment, and facts that support that appeal. And this is most commonly used by activists, judges, and political figures. Some example questions would be, is it wrong to drive over the speed limit? Is Pepsi better than Coke? So if I use the is Pepsi better than Coke question, I would pick my side, which I would choose that Coke is better than Pepsi. I would give a reason why, because Coke has a gassier feeling, and I would give facts that support it. So I would do my research and find some statistics about it and support my arguments. The following video is pretty self-explanatory. Alright, that's going to be all for today. Don't forget that you have to watch the videos and identify the persuasive techniques used, and bring your notes to class. You will definitely need those. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!